Where were you on the night of November 18th, year 100?
I was at my lab station, working on my research just like any other day.
What work in particular might that have been?
I was testing the demon blades.
The demon blades were tested on Brian and they worked, correct?
Correct.
You held off on using them. Why is that?
Why did you suddenly feel the need to use the demon blades on yourself?
Well,
Why did you enter the machine and activate it just moments before the collapse? Answer the question.
What do they need to know so desperately? And that's where I met him, the Wanderer. And then it hit me. I was talking to Morgan Freeman.
Can I be let free? There are still many whom I need to care for.
I suppose we may return you to the origin.
Morgan, what are you...
You okay, Doc?
No, what about the...
what about the what?
I don't remember.
So, the plan failed. It's been days, weeks, maybe even months, and Make hasn't returned, and we haven't gotten any help.
Either he was actually let free and sent back to the origin, or he was transferred somewhere else in this prison.
Or worse yet, he was disposed of.
Let's not think about that possibility.
All we know is that we're not getting any help.
There really is no way to get out of here.
We're stuck here for eternity. There's no point in trying to find a way out of here anymore. It's just a waste of energy. I might as well tell them everything. The truth will be revealed at some point or another in this endless cycle of questioning.
Well, isn't this ironic? Your name is Morgan Freeman, yet right now, you're anything but a free man.
Nice to meet you too.
I can't believe my own nephew would do something as terrible as you have. Our family really covers both sides of the spectrum, with us maintaining the law and you breaking it.
You know, it doesn't look like you're really free yourself. You've been here, albeit running this place, ever since you died back then.
I haven't the slightest idea of what you're talking about. I chose to do this.
I highly doubt that. Why would you leave my father?
Enough of this. I'm the one questioning you here. So, it seems you entered the machine which connects to the demon blades you created. Is this true?
Yes.
Why did you do this?
I decided to infuse my soul into one of the demon blades so that I could become immortal.
Here's something you like?
Something like that.
Anyways, what caused you to change your mind about using the machine on yourself?
I had a feeling something bad was going to happen. I didn't want to die that night.
Was this really just a feeling, or did you know what was to occur?
I knew what was going to happen that night.
How did you know? What was the source of this knowledge?
I knew because I'm the one who caused it to happen.
Why? Why did you cause the single worst event in all of history to occur?
It isn't as if it was my intention to start the Night of Reckoning. It was only a byproduct of my experiments.
So the countless lives of those across the megaverse which were lost or negatively altered by your experiment were simply byproducts?
What do you want me to say?
We want you to tell us why.
I was trying to bring Gerald back, and I was going to go to any length to do so, even if it meant doing what I did. How much have you told them?
I've tried my best to tell them nothing of your memories. We've only talked about events that occurred after the collapse, when it was just us three.
Good.
What exactly did you do?
Is evidence what you need? We're already incarcerated, and you've seen every single thing we've ever done. So why? Why must we cough up every little detail of our lives and hand-serve them to you?
We must ensure that everything remains true according to the timeline.
And what is that book you keep reading during our interrogations?
A legend beyond your comprehension. This right here is a written documentation of every event that has ever and will ever happen in the Origins timeline.
So you know how I will answer.
I know how you will most likely answer. I also know what I will ask.
So the comment I made earlier about our family name was true. I take it you've read the entire book?
I haven't.
But why? You have what is realistically an infinite amount of time to read what I can assume is a finite amount of pages.
I can't bring myself to turn past a certain page. No matter how hard I try, or how much I want to, I physically can't read further from this point.
What information could be beyond that page? I mean, if you can't, maybe I can read.
No, this matter does not concern you. Now, let's get back to how you caused the Night of Reckoning to occur. What exactly did you do?
Days before that night, I made progress toward an experiment I was performing. Before this breakthrough, I was getting desperate. I had tried so many different things, tested so many hypotheses to bring Gerald back to life, but to no avail. It was time I made an attempt to reverse the flow of time. Maybe then I could potentially return to a time when Gerald was alive and take him from there, or at the very least, stop his murder.
But how did this ultimately cause the Night of Reckoning?
Well, the Night of Reckoning happened because the experiment worked. When I activated the system to reverse the flow of time for just a fraction of a second, time around me seemed to stop completely. The air hung still, almost suffocating me with the force it took just to breathe. After a moment, I thought that things had returned to normal, and that this trial had failed. But I looked around and saw a sheep in a different location.
Was it teleported to the place it was in before you activated the machine?
No, I took note of my surroundings prior to my experiment. This sheep was nowhere to be found, but after the experiment, it was right before me. Over the next few days, I noticed many strange things starting to occur. Differences in temperature and weather, changes in the landscape and environment. Some of the world's properties, such as gravity, began to warp and sometimes even shatter. There are more instances like my experience with the translocated sheep. As time went by, these discrepancies became more frequent. I knew something wasn't right. I decided to pack up everything I had used in the experiment. A few hours before midnight on November 19th, I realized the gravity of the situation. I really thought I had more time. I quickly traveled to the machine and began booting it up. Because it had been years since I used it, I had to recalibrate the machine. I genuinely didn't think I'd make it in time, but I had to do something to try and salvage what little of the universe I could. Assuming that I would be safe and unaffected if I infused my soul into one of the demon blades, rendering me immortal, I entered the machine and activated it.
But you were too late.
Yes, the infusion process was incomplete. I was in this limbo between possessing a physical form and having my soul exist endlessly.
What did you see or experience?
I was forced to observe the endless depths of nothingness for all of eternity. I was disconnected from everything. I lacked eyes and any other body part that could receive external stimuli, but could still see the void I failed to exist in. It was at the moment that the origin collapsed that I was split into different forms. My own consciousness was one, but I was also split into 3 different semi-physical forms, representing portions of my personality and consciousness.
It looks like that's all we need from you at this time. Thank you for cooperating. We will come back here later for further questioning.
I told them.
You did what?
I've lost all hope of escape. We'll be stuck here forever, doomed to live this cycle over and over, again and again. It's getting too tiring to hold back information. Plus, they already know what happened. They have this book which contains everything that has and will ever happen.
Could it be the origin story?
How did you...
I've heard rumors about it, but I didn't think it actually existed.
Apparently, it does.
Welcome. Could you please state your name?
Hamburger.
I have a very long list of your crimes. Which would you like to start with?
Pick a number between 1 and 10.
Okay. 6.
Wrong. No food for you.
Wrong? See, this is what I'm talking about. You've taken food from people.
I take a bite.
You can't be taking other people's belongings, let alone food that they need to survive.
Out of cheese, what food?
What food? The food you've taken from starving individuals across your multiverse.
I take a bite.
Welcome back. So, I'd like to get a record of your early life.
There is no way to get out of here.
Let's start with the earliest memories you have.